you know, I was gonna take a break from this. Honestly speaking, I was in the shower getting ready for dungeoneering with my friends, which I will be doing in a few minutes, but I need to really convey the issues I'm seeing with this situation. I said it on Twitter that I wasn't going to talk about it anymore, but I can't. Something hit me in the shower about this whole situation that just doesn't sit right. And it's the Maya Contreras issue with hiring her 14-year-old campaign manager. I think a lot of people, rightfully so, had the initial visceral reaction of, he's 14. What is a 14-year-old going to bring in such a high capacity, very stressful job role? And honestly speaking, I gave examples on my Bonnet Chronicles Friday night of both a campaign manager that did the thing, like Simone, who, really came up from an embattled position with the Bernie Sanders campaign and then moved on to the Biden Harris campaign and helped them win, versus Brianna Joy Gray, who went the opposite direction. We've seen how two campaign managers broached their jobs in very high profile ways. One I felt very wrong, and one I felt did the thing that you have to. And as somebody who also worked on a campaign as a speechwriter, whose only credit I get is to say, hey, I wrote speeches, I realized that running for something is hard. Doing this kind of work is not easy. And a lot of people just look at it from the perspective of what they would do. And we need to motivate the youth vote. So, wanting to think of the positive aspects of why Maya might have done this was heavily in my brain at the time. I was like, as well as not understanding it because I have a teenager, I could see why getting the youth vote is important. Right now, their demographic, the 18 to about 30-year-olds, are still not turning out in a way that says they believe their votes matter. And getting kids involved in politics and how politics work and how campaigns work could be a good teachable moment. Do I still feel that the role of campaign manager should be on the lap of a 14-year-old? No. And one of the main reasons why was the Medium article that was shared. I felt that the young man was swayed, like a lot of people, by three character actors in politics: Andrew Yang, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders. They talk a big game of talking to the youth. They push a lot of a grievance and stoke that hormonal side of a lot of young people. And I feel right in wanting free things. I feel right in my issues being more important than the bigger picture. They speak that populism talk very well. And that is why a lot of young people, even though they don't go out and turn those into votes, will tout their message. Elizabeth Warren is still playing those games. So I can understand why Theo has those leans. But for me, it made me really reminded that the youth are easily swayed by character actors in politics. So once again, having him be Maya's campaign manager made me go, mm. But what I didn't do, and what I really stress we all need to do, is we can share our opinions on our wall. The moment y'all took it to her page, that was a step too far for me. I don't need to constantly attack people with my opinion. And I'm not saying that people attack Theo, because that was something, and that's why I decided to do this video. There was a lot of accusations that the K-Hive in whole was attacking the 14-year-old, and I have still seen no proof of that. I have still seen nobody showing me screenshots of people with verifiable ties to our group. And I know anybody could say they're K-Hive. I'm going to address that in a minute. But there was nothing so far shown to me that people were attacking this campaign manager, versus people who were very visibly going to Maya's page to say this was dumb. I get it. It's real easy on Twitter to join into a mob mentality and call somebody out for what you think is stepping in it. I honestly felt the same way about hiring a 14-year-old. I didn't have to take it to her page. Some of you think that you have a respectable or civil level of disrespect that you can just get away with because it's your personality and expect no fallout. I'm here to say that those fractures hurt us all. I'm going to put it to you in follicle ways because I'm natural now. I know some people think you dye your hair, you're not natural. Shut up, Hotep. I'm not talking to you. But in the terms of hair, when you ignore a split end, it moves up. It damages your whole head. And I can't ignore when somebody is calling out a group that I affiliate with without proof. And there's a lot of rumors that this child was dogpiled on, and I have not seen that. I'm not saying that didn't happen. So I want to make that clear because I haven't had proof either way. But I'm saying that when you try to condemn a whole group that is a grassroots group for our MVP, you better have proof. You better have those receipts because I want to call the fuckers out who are doing it. And I think anybody who calls themselves K-Hive feels that way. You should not be attacking a child at all. It's not cute. It's not funny. And if I find proof of somebody doing that, yeah, I'm calling you out. But I also have to be reminded of being a part of any political organization. We have people in it in bad faith, and we've seen that this weekend too. We've seen somebody who was prominent decide that they no longer, and they deleted the tweet, so I think it was just passion, say they don't want to affiliate with us anymore. And I get why they were upset because they were being attacked by people for daring to host Maya so that she could defend herself. Some of you were really coming out of pocket and don't want to admit it. You were attacking anybody that dared try to bring a rational side to why she was doing this. But they announced that they didn't want to be a part of the K-Hive anymore, and I seen the phonies come right out the woodwork. Oh yeah, I always had a problem with this group, even though you still have the yellow ring around your neck, your name or picture. You still have the little heart to act like you're with the K-Hive. Some of you really try to fake the funk. And I know being in a group like this, we're going to have our frauds and phonies too. But it's really funny and it shows people's character when there's an issue and your first thing is to bounce instead of confronting the issue because we all need each other. Especially right now. We are being hammered by the right. We are being hammered by the far left. And if this kind of thing makes you want to drop the group, then we didn't need you in the first place. But I noticed a lot of people who I didn't even recognize, didn't even really see pull receipts, but who love to jump into threads when one of us is going hard against a politician or dealing with a Bernie brat, which we really need to stop. If they are still in your mentions doing that, they're probably just trying to troll you. Ignore them. But I noticed the people who are just in the seats cheering on, instigating, and popcorning, calling themselves K-Hive, versus those who actually believe and get in factual information, combating the negative narrative of Kamala Harris. And I get that passions are high, but this is what the opposition, especially the right, wants. This is what the far left want to destroy. The Dems from within want. They want that infighting. They want to prove that the K-Hive is unstable, and we've got to stop giving them that. It's real easy for me to see the negative of hiring a 14-year-old campaign manager. But when I sat down and really started to unpack and analyze the good that it could bring to the youth vote, getting kids motivated into the political process of how campaigns work and why it matters when somebody runs. And I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't think this is going to do Maya's campaign any favor. It might get her name out there and we are talking about her. But I feel like a lot of people had an instant negative visceral reaction, which is funny because a lot of us are old enough to realize we've been working since that age or earlier. I got my working papers at 11. I was a camp counselor at this young man's age. I worked actual jobs early on in life, like a lot of Gen Xers, like a lot of boomers, and definitely silent generation. Do I want to make my son do it? No, but I unpacked my trauma differently. I decided that I wasn't going to let my kid not be a kid for as long as possible because I didn't have that. I understand that I can't broach everything like that because if my kid had that kind of passion towards politics, I would want him to at least intern or be a social media coordinator or youth outreach coordinator for a campaign. I could see why having a young person on a campaign learning hands on is a good thing. What I don't agree with is putting them out as a campaign manager because campaign managers normally have to book things. They have to go on air for things. And if what Maya is saying is true, because like I said, I have not seen evidence of people attacking this young man. He's already being viscerally called out for his age, and y'all's reaction is to block, not talk to people about why you're doing it, not keep it 100 about why you chose him and standing by it. You're blocking people. And for me, it's that easy raw nerve that in politics you've got to numb, honestly speaking. And I know as a human it's hard. I don't like dealing with trolls. So my first thing is to block them. But these aren't trolls. These are people that respect you, that have come to you saying, we don't understand what you're doing. And they might still not understand. You shared that Medium article and it made me less into your choice, but that's just my opinion. And I still respectfully decided to just keep it to myself. I've got bigger fish to fry. There's a midterm coming up, y'all, and I really want to focus on voter turnout. And I'm not saying that to like deflect from the situation, which a lot of people were trying to accuse as well. I just want to bring a cool head to this because, like I said, like a damaged split end, this fracture within our group will be exploited. People want lesser turnout. People want groups like us to be infight and in fracture and fall apart because then they can directly attack VP Harris. Stop giving them ammunition and stop amplifying people who only want to instigate us against each other. We don't always have to agree with one another's decisions. Whether this is a good thing for Maya's run or a bad thing, only time will tell. Honestly speaking, I have skin in that game anyway. I live in Michigan now. And even if I lived in New York, I probably wouldn't even be in her district. She don't need my outsider's perspective on it. But if I can give it 100%, I could see the positive in getting a younger voice that understands social media better, that understands how to speak to 18-year-olds, especially who are just learning how to vote and who probably don't think things matter, who are influenced by the populace. It's all about you and who cares about anything else. The microwave brains of them. We need to adjust our own mentality on who's important within the political process because our decisions affect our kids, whether we want to recognize that or not. Who we elect as leaders impacts them too. So that is all I want to say on this. I'm tired of us fighting. I'm tired of seeing good people blocking each other and then getting mad because you're still associated with this person and clicking, and it's annoying. And this divide will hurt us in the long run. And the fact that I have to make a video saying these things matter of factly gets on my nerves, but I'm not going to stop because I see the patterns that are going to be used against us that we can't afford. So I'm going to wrap this up because I'm running into my gamer time. Honestly speaking, that's all I wanted to do today. But this is just so important to me to weigh in on that I pause even my personal time to do this because I just feel like if I don't say this, these fractures will continue until we're all stripped of what is important, our democracy. So just words for you to think about. I'm going to wrap this up.